Well, good afternoon,
Woo!
everyone. Whoop, whoop. Okay, now right away I get an error for my LinkedIn. Oh well, I'll just post on there after. Welcome to the Shift Happens. What happens? Shift happening
Shift
already.
happens.
Every single episode, there's shift that happens.
I know,
I
but
love
that's the
it.
point, right?
It's great. Let me go live here.
It's
Let's
a real
see
shift
if
show.
it'll go. There we go. Now we're live on LinkedIn. So welcome, LinkedIn friends, Underground Radio C friends, Just TV, Just FM friends, those who are tuning in through Life Changes and Divorce Magazine Canada. Deena, where else are you? You are on your own Facebook as well?
On my own You Glow Girl page, yes.
You go,
Woo!
girl. You go. Okay. So this is episode 4 already, which is very cool. We
Yes.
have, I mean, it just feels like it's going by so fast, and it's like every other week are the shows, but it feels like it's just gone. So next week is our actual finale of season 1. So that's
In
how
2 weeks, yeah. So
is
next
it 2 weeks?
episode
Oh,
on the
2 weeks.
28th.
Right.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to do a fall shift. We're going to tease that in now. So, all things fall, going back to work after holidays, school, all that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting. But this show, we thought it would be fun because lately, as you guys all know, the Olympics are happening. So, we wanted to have an Olymp shift show of different things that will happen during the Olympics. So, usual sports, you're going to have people cheering for different teams like Team Canada, Team USA, whatever. So everyone's going to have, your rivals, which is a lot of fun. And then you get interesting stories happening through the headliners. So we're going to
Yep.
bring up one of my favorite ones, which is the breakdancing.
Oh Lord. Oh boy. Okay, so
I
we
I saw
we
it and I laughed because anyway. Okay, go ahead.
we want to shed a light on different shifts that people experience, like
Yeah.
whether it's shifts or shifts they want to create in their lives that make a positive impact. But we want to be able to reframe some of these, and
Yes.
some things maybe you haven't considered that they are a shift, but we want to reframe them and throw in a little humor. Like
Mhm.
let's lighten it up, make it fun, because some of this we have to go through whether we want to or not. But we
Yeah.
also want to talk about big topics that are happening. Like one of our first episodes was around the stampede that was happening in Calgary, and we
Mhm.
just talked around that. But now the Olympics. So do tell, Cari. Let's dig into
No,
breaking.
I think we should go back and go through a little bit of what we did
Okay,
this evening
sure.
because
This is our show.
like
We
I
can do
said,
whatever the hell we want.
we're only episode 4. So
Yeah.
those that are new watching the show, I think they need a little bit of taste of what we did.
Oh,
So
and
yeah.
this is another unfiltered one. So if you have littles, maybe throw in the earbuds, maybe catch it as a replay later. But we don't get
Yeah.
too wild and crazy. But this is an unfiltered. Sometimes we do clean cut, and we actually did a clean cut last time, and I'm
We
pretty
did.
impressed with us. We could go backwards and through what we've done. So last time it was
Okay.
clean cut, and we talked about pet peeves,
Oh,
and those little annoyances that aren't dangerous or anything or
no.
harmful to anybody, but pet peeves. And we challenged ourselves to do that as a clean cut version when we're talking about things that annoy us. And we did it.
Mhm.
We
You did
aced
it.
it.
Right, because
We
how
kept it
easy
clean.
is it to just like want to swear over bad drivers or just be like, I've had enough of this shift and I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But those pet peeves, even like standing in line at the supermarket, someone in front of you that are just there taking their sweet time, and you're like, it is really difficult sometimes to have patience, right?
Yeah.
So we want to say how important, it is to have some patience because the other person that may be in front of you, there's things that are happening beyond their control as well.
Yeah.
So we can't
Yes.
really necessarily get mad. Maybe we didn't give ourselves more time. Maybe we're speeding through traffic and we shouldn't be. All these things are happening. So it's just to kind of take a mental note of, we all have pet peeves, but how can we go through it differently? How can we have a different mindset of turning it into a more positive experience instead of a negative experience? Because
Yeah.
it's too easy to fall into the negatives of like everything. Let's just put it that way.
Well, and just some compassion. Like you said, we don't always know what the other person's story is or what they're dealing with. And some days that's us. Some
Yes.
days like that karma comes back around and we have compassion shared with us.
Hmm. Yeah, I do agree.
Um,
And that's what it's about, right? Is being kind to each other and having, knowing everyone's all part of, we're all this huge community and we should be helping each other. And yeah, yeah. And then the show,
speaking of, go ahead.
no, you go because I think we want to
Speaking of
finish.
supermarkets, I have
Oh,
another
okay.
pet peeve that I discovered the other day that has bothered me all my life. And I'm really curious how many hours of my life I have lost trying to open those little plastic fresh produce bags. I refuse to lick my fingers. No.
Now, during COVID, there was, I can't remember who, someone told me that they actually walked up to someone that worked in the grocery store and said, hey, because you can't be lifting masks and licking hands and touching, what are like some ways that you can deal with that? And they said a lot of the clerks or staff that work in the grocery markets carry like a lip balm in their pocket, so they would take it out and rub the lip balm on their fingers and then
So,
wipe it.
I mean, it's brilliant, but then the next time you put on that lip balm, your dirty fingers have
Well,
touched it.
no, I mean you specifically market that
But if you
for
have one separate, this is only my vegetable separating bag lip balm.
plastic bag lip balm,
Yes, my
right?
plastic bag lip balm.
And then to those that you don't like that are bugging you, you hand it to them and go here.
Yes, like you want to borrow some? Okay.
It could be interesting.
Then the episode before was talking about our summer wish list, things that we were hoping to accomplish
Achieve.
or do or achieve or do in the summer, including rest and relaxation.
How did you do on your list? Because I know a part of your list was reading.
Yeah, I read a lot, but not as much as I want, and so much of it is self-development books. And like Kyle was super impressed with me when anytime he'll see me reading just a book for fun, and I thought I'm going to read 2 books for fun this summer.
Yeah.
And I was given that whole big set of a Court of Crown and Roses or Thorns and Roses, something like that. My daughter gave me, and it's 5 books, and some of them are like this
Wow.
big. So I thought, well, I'll start that series. I've already read 4 of them. I only have
Wow.
1 left in there, so I have definitely been an overachiever with
Oh,
summer plans, but
what's the
a
two
little
shift
more
even?
rest, a little more relaxation, not as much exercise as I was hoping to do. I did
Wow.
accomplish a few things. How about you, Cari? How did your wish list
Oh my
look?
goodness. Well, my wish list consisted of at least paddle boarding once, and it happened. Yay! So I
Go
just
us.
want to, get out there. Just the more recreational stuff for me for the summertime because with work and all the other things that I do, I sometimes have a problem with one, like, sitting still, but also because I'm always go, go, go on the go, but I want to go, go, go doing the things that I love to do, which
Yeah.
includes being outside. I love to be able to, went rafting with some friends. I did my paddle boarding. I didn't do as much Callaway Park this year as I did last year. So I'm hoping to be able to do a little bit more towards the end of the month and into September. And that's the hard part is because now by the end of the month, it goes into only being weekends when they're open. So I'm getting down to the last couple of weeks of them being open every single day.
I
And it's
I
hard.
I have an idea. We should do a live from Callaway together.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Take people on our rides and whatever we want to do, right?
On the
Oh
roller
my God.
coaster.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I'm just gonna share our stream here on my Facebook because I didn't get a chance to pop it in there. But yeah, so those are kind of the things that I wanted to make sure that I have, you know, I'm doing my equal amount of time with friends, family, and the things that I love to do. So that's my summer wish list. It's almost always the same every year, just to be able to. But this year it was paddle boarding because I bought it last year and I was like, it can't keep sitting in my closet.
Right. Well, and
And
we want to
everyone's
hear
posting their paddle boarding, and I'm like, I want to go. And then
Aw.
I'm like, then I read, actually, it's been good because I've done research. Because then between things, I'm like, well, where is everybody going? How do they get there? Do they pump their board before they go? Do you pump it when you're there? What are the different things? So it's a learning shift that also
Right.
comes with it, which I love. Because then I'm like, oh, I don't feel like such a newbie
Yeah.
when I go.
You show up with yours all pumped up and everybody's standing there pumping theirs and you're like, oh, that's
But
embarrassing.
however, that's
But you
another
get
thing. Like
you get
I
in first.
researched getting an electric pump. I didn't like
Oh
because
yeah.
if you're gonna be
For
for
a
like
long
over an
time.
hour, just like so they say because to get your board has to be at 15 psi. Okay,
Oh,
this is the facts.
are
15
you a
or
sink?
over. They don't
It'll
say
fold in half.
like don't. You're sitting in the middle like a banana board.
Yeah.
But one of those noodle floaties. Yeah, that's me. So 15 psi's, but by the time, and you don't realize this until you're, but
Hmm.
to
It's a
get to
workout.
one psi in your board
Yeah.
takes almost an hour.
Oh, good
Just
Lord.
yeah, and I'm just like,
Hey.
so it goes a little faster over the hour.
Yeah.
I think it took me like an hour and a bit, but because I was pumping, I'm like, does this thing work? I'm like, I'm a weakling a little bit, but I'm just like, I've got gumpture to push. But it's like, what is going on? And I feel like I'm such a newbie at this, and I'm just like shaking my
Good
head.
for you though. Like good for
But
you to
yeah, then
jump
you
in
read up
and
on it and you're
do
like,
some
oh, okay,
research.
it's not just me.
Yeah. No, it isn't. So that's good. So, and we want to hear from our audience. We want to hear from
Yeah.
the listeners. Like drop in comments, even if you're watching the replay, tag us Shift
Mm-hmm.
Happens Show. Let us know like comment on any of these things and how they relate to you and maybe some shifts that you've experienced over summer, over, we're going to get back to the Olympics, over pet
Yes.
peeves. And
Oh, yeah.
then we had talked a bit about the Stampede and how
Right.
I'd never been, but my perception was that I just kept hearing so many people talking about it being a big party. And I was like, well, aren't we just like, can't we just be about the rodeo and not just all about the parties? And
Yeah.
it's just, I was more tend to want to avoid the party, huge masses of people just partying,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that was really good. And hearing from you some of the really amazing, like affordable, accessible family type things and these traditions that people have around that.
Yeah,
So let's
absolutely.
jump into the Olympics.
Olympics.
Olymp shifts. Oh, breaking. That's where you
Okay.
wanted to start. Okay.
I will, but I want you to go first. I will because
Really?
I've got videos and stuff
Ooh.
all queued up, ready to go. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So there's one video I hope you're going to show for sure, but we'll see. So I'm super impressed. I never, full transparency, before we even start talking Olympics, I didn't watch them. And I was off the grid. I was on vacation for the majority of them and no TV, no microwave, no cell service, no Wi-Fi. And that's fine. I was fine. I was fine with that. I
No
usually
fun.
don't make the time to do that, but it's kind of like I feel like not an authority on the Stampede. I'm not an authority on the Olympics, but there was a lot of fun stuff that we definitely can talk about. I'm super impressed with the 17-year-old Canadian swimmer who won 3 gold and 4 medals. So that was a record breaking. And I heard about a couple of people. There was a 51-year-old skateboarder. He was from Great Britain. He didn't win a medal, but he really impressed and wowed the crowd and just had a great time. Like, I'm so impressed. And a 51-year-old, like the sharpshooter dude that everybody was in with like their fancy little flaps on their glasses and all the eye protection in the ear and all that crap. And
Yeah.
no, it's good. That's good.
Yeah. Even though it's been like a
I've done some.
meme going around, but
Yeah, there's a
it's
meme.
great. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. I know what it's like. I've done shooting.
Ooh.
It's loud, but he's just this, I think he was 51 as well. Hand in his pocket, his reading glasses on, and he wins a silver. So yeah, pretty cool dude. Then there was the Superman pommel horse dude that looked total Clark Kent. And he walks in, takes off his glasses, and then he gets up there, and there it's just like amazing gymnast. So that was pretty cool. Then we have the Canadian soccer team, and they apparently had a drone that they were using to spy on, I believe it was New Zealand's practice. And they had a couple things come up. Maybe you know more about it. We could dig into that later about the why some of their staff was sent home or, you know, disqualified from even participating. And then the head coach as well got like, cut, you're off, leave. Thank you very much. I was impressed. So Canada apparently got 9 gold medals, 27 medals total. Our volleyball team, holy moly. So I did watch, I think, for most of the game when they qualified for the finals. And I was just thinking, wow, they body envy there for sure. And then thinking, wait a minute, you know what? They very likely could weigh the same amount as me. But if you are like 7'2", you know, you're gonna look like that.
It's spread right out, that whole
They're
body mass.
amazing athletes, like 2 people on sand. If anybody's ever tried playing beach volleyball, you know just how hard that is. Tom Cruise showed up at the Olympics. Snoop Dogg,
like, I mean, to do the final closing Olympics.
Yeah,
was the Tom Cruise, and then I saw tons of Snoop Dogg all over the place, just out there living his best life, promoting it all out there in his glory. And I was like, oh, that was a total surprise.
I like that. Some funny things I came upon that we can talk about later or not, whatever, just drop this in.
Yeah.
There was a US sprinter that during qualifiers at some point, I think that was still when she was in the US, she accidentally got locked into a porta potty and for 10 minutes and almost missed the tryout that would have kept her out of the Olympics. So funny thing, Charmin, the toilet paper company, is now one of her sponsors, and she's like, yeah, they support me from the backside to the trackside, and they cover all my assets. And it's just like she's got all these slogans now for this, and I think that's really funny. Then there was a guy
for life. Is she
be a sponsor for life. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a guy that I guess retrieves the swimmers' swimming caps out of the bottom of the pool. And everybody got quite a kick out of his Speedos that he was like, he dived down there and grabbed these swimming caps. And there's a new sport besides breakdancing, was kayak cross. And they're sitting in kayaks up out of the water, and they drop them like 15-foot drop, and then they battle each other down this obstacle course, and it's just insane. But that was another new sport. Okay, but the one that I'm hoping you have the video for, I just saw this video. Oh my God. Talk about a bad timing bulge. I mean, it was like hickory dickory dock, slapjack paddywhack. Oh, there's a man in France that needs tighter pants. Put it that way. Did you see that with the pole vaulter? Oh my God.
Not just that, but there was also a boxing match that apparently called out. Well, it was supposed to be a female boxing match. It wasn't. There was, again, it's all over social media, and they're showing her jumping up and down, and along with the bulge going up and down. And so it's like, and not to mention,
people, get your shift together.
Get your shift together. So if you're qualifying for a girl sport, perhaps be a girl. If you're qualifying for a boy sport, be a boy. And I know it's a very controversial thing to be transgender or something during this time.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how they qualify or what they do in those situations to go, okay, you're in the female one, you're in the male one, how they go about that. Or if they go, hey, I'm female, but I identify as male. And do they just allow them to go? Like, I'm not even sure how they do that. So it's interesting to see. That's all the controversial side of it, going, okay, well, as much as we want everyone to participate, I don't know if they're hard enough on, like I said, the qualifying factors of them being in each, whatever. Or let's scrap the gender and go, instead of like it's female beach volleyball, let's just go countries.
Yeah.
Why not have Canada versus US, but not male or female? Just whoever wants to play on the team can play. And then there's none of that BS going on, right?
Well, that could get tricky too, because how do you qualify then if in
They just
certain
got to be a
sports?
kick-ass team.
Yeah,
It's
but you'd have to.
just like going into junior high school sports where, but then again,
Those are
like our
segmented as
cities,
well.
like
But it'd be tough because in some of the sports where strength or something that maybe men have an advantage over some of the women that are competing for these spots,
yeah.
it could end up being predominantly male then in some of these, and the women wouldn't necessarily have a chance.
Or
It's
they
hard to
could
say.
say you have to have two female. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot.
Real life happens. Okay, so if anybody is wondering why we were talking about the Olympics when I haven't even watched all of them, and I'll admit that right now, it's because it is a global, worldwide thing that is huge that a lot of people pay attention to. And when you see stories of the adversity that some of these athletes have faced and they've risen above that, it takes a lot of mindset. It takes a lot of shift in their perspective of things, right? Like they've overcome obstacles that just set such an incredible example and inspiring examples for the rest of us. So yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to look at some of those stories. And I'm now, Cari, you've got you had a little
So much shift going on.
yeah, you got had a little malfunction on your studio set there. Thanks, you're back. So
Okay.
you mentioned some things that you heard about. There was something about the cardboard beds and this whole breakdancing
Yeah.
thing. And
So the cardboard bed, it was like on the news. They're like, it was supposed to be anti-sex bed. So, to prevent people from doing the
no,
nasty on these beds, they're made out of cardboard. And the beginning of the Olympics, all you saw, like even on the news, were the athletes jumping on top of their beds and everything. And to me, they actually seemed super sturdy. And I thought that's a great way to save money if you're traveling or something. You could just bring along a cardboard bed and you got, one
yeah,
there. Or if you have a spare room but no extra furniture, you could just pop in
throw up
your
the cardboard bed.
cardboard bed in there and but yeah, they were like literally jumping on the beds. However, I'm not sure how heavy they were, because if you have an athlete, they're usually pretty
Well, did
tiny.
did anybody
So
test like
if they actually had
one wide,
sex.
two deep? Did anybody test this theory out? Like,
I don't think they did.
I bet you they did. Somebody did.
They probably did, but they kept it under
Especially when
wraps,
they're
right?
told that that's the purpose behind them. It's like
Yeah.
somebody's going to challenge that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're told not to, you're going to, right?
Yeah.
That's an
If they're shift
automatic thing.
disturbers like we are.
Absolutely. So, and then the other thing, of course, now I actually didn't watch like any Olympics, hardly at all. The only stuff I saw was really floating around on social media. So, I saw the shooter and I saw the boxer, and I didn't see your swimmer or those guys or anything. But one thing that stood out to me, of course, was the breakdancing, only because at one point in my life, I was with a studio and I did hip hop dance with them. And in the community, we have break dancers like breakers, and they're amazing. They're so amazing. So when I heard that there was breakdancing, I was like, first of all, I hope they are as good as the guys that I see at the studio, because they're just incredible, and they just, you know, like they're just amazing, and you just can stand there and watch them for hours. However, when I saw the ones that were going around, well, let's just bring this up because this is the interesting thing. So Here we go. Let's just share this up here. Yeah. Okay. This is the
As the suspense
Australian.
builds. Oh, the Australian, yes.
Let's make
Can't
sure we
wait.
get
I've
the
seen bits and pieces.
right. Oh
It's
no.
embarrassing.
Oh, I lost that one. Okay, hold on. But that's okay. This is what I figured should be happening. Okay, this is the one that I figured it would be like. Here we go. Oh, let's see if we can record. There we go. Okay, let me know what's going. No, I lost it. That's okay. This is the shifty stuff we go through. Okay, share screen. Let's see if it will let me, because maybe it won't share. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is what I
was
expect
expecting.
a
Oh,
break
okay. Yes.
dancers to be like. Okay, and again, I'm going to mute this so that we don't get copyright. Okay, so if you watch the moves, it's just incredible how they go around. It's really popular music and everything, so we don't want to play that. But these are moves like it's incredible, and your jaw drops when you watch them. And you're like, this is so incredible, right?
I can still hear them.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that one. I'm going to find the one. Let's see if I can find it real quick here.
I found this one meme. I just love it. It's so funny. I'll read it. But that's the picture that goes with. Whoa, that's the picture that goes with it.
Okay,
So there's a guy. It says, "I am yet again asking the Olympics to simply let a regular non-athlete person do the event first." Am I muted? Nope, I'm not. Okay. I'm asking the Olympics to simply let a regular non-athlete person do the event first so I can understand how good these people are. There's a guy jogging with his beer.
Okay.
How's it going over there, Cari?
Here we go. This is the Australian one.
Oh, you have to mute it. It's embarrassing. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, yeah, huge difference between the first one and the second one. And you expect with it being an Olympic sport that they would be more professional about it. Yes. So I'm not really sure who's in charge of qualifying these guys, but yeah.
Well, it crossed my mind that a story when I used to run track and do track and field, and I remember we would get to like division and district and those provincial meets, and sometimes just to get enough points, all you had to do, like I was a sprinter, so the 400 meter I didn't usually run, but I remember one time our phys ed coach saying, "Look, if you four girls, just all you have to do is go around and finish the race. It can take you 10 minutes, but as long as you finish, we get enough points that we win the whole match of total points for all our athletes." And we're like, "Oh yeah, for sure, let's go do this." And we got on the track and we did the 4x400 relay and we won it. And so we got, woo. But I think there wasn't pressure, and so we just went for it. But it crossed my mind that maybe Australia is like, look, the more events, like let's just find somebody. Can somebody roll around on the floor? Like we just need some points from this event just to be represented. I don't know, but that was painful. And I agree. Like, where are the standards and where are the trials? Like maybe she's the best break dancer in Australia.
Maybe. Okay, you keep chatting because I think something's about to happen. Something's going to shift here real soon.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, so I am really impressed with the level of athleticism that we did see at the Olympics this year, and it seems like we keep gaining more and more medals. We keep raising the bar. We're breaking records. How does that happen? I think our training is maybe more efficient. The mindset. We're hearing more and more around the mindset work, and I think that is really fascinating because that can apply to any of us anywhere, right? Like if we choose to use our mind to uh, improve our, develop our innate abilities to create realities that we didn't even know were possible at some point in our life. I mean, I've written books about it, that whole mindset shift that you can manifest and create whatever you want. And so when they are using more and more, I really think it has a lot to do with the success we're seeing, and records continue to be getting broke. Our humans are
Mm-hmm.
still humans. We're still being created as humans, but
Mm-hmm.
we're excelling, and we're doing more. So how much of that is between the ears?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting to, personal development as well. We could go on that side because it is all about a mental shift during Olympics and a physical shift as well.
Mhm.
So perhaps in some events, it isn't necessarily all about the physical aspect of it. It could be a mental aspect of it. And I probably missed a little bit of what you said, but Australia, let's say, it was just the fact that just going out there and performing in front of
Yeah.
people, it can make you really nervous and everything. So perhaps it was just one performance that she didn't do well. And, your body kind of doesn't perform as you want it under stress. So
Yeah.
with the training and everything, what you need to be doing is training yourself in situations that are just as stressful so you can see how your body is going to perform under those circumstances. Otherwise, that could happen. And I do feel for her. Like there is
Yes.
some empathy there because it
Yeah.
ends up, of course, all over social media and everyone laughing. And you're just like, oh, it's an eyesore. But to me, it's like, go and check out all the other stuff you do see on the internet and, compare it because maybe that could have happened. She was just so nervous. She wasn't doing as great or whatever. But then
Yeah.
it's like, you look at the other performers that I just showed you, and it could be like, maybe he's never under stress. Maybe he's never had a bad day of dancing or anything like that. So you don't know their situations. Plus,
Exactly.
if you think about, I don't know, Australia and France with their time changes, but it could be another thing of just like jet
Yes.
lag, depends when they travel to get there, and then being in a different country. There's so many factors involved. So, and then again, it's like when you go to the professional shooter, then you realize that is one sport that you must have accuracy and you must be like under pressure, perform to a T. It's like,
Exactly.
when the
They're
government,
breathing. Everything is controlled.
yeah, yeah. So and the same thing with swimming. They're learning controlling of their breath and everything because they have to be able to swim enough distance in that time frame. So it's different levels, different training and accuracy for everything. And how are they doing? So you can't quite compare unless you actually go through the situation and know how much pressure it is, what they're doing in that
Yeah.
sport. So good for her for coming
Yep.
out.
Yep.
And, that's all I have to say. And I'm sorry it turned out to be.
Yeah, but I love, like, that's the point of why we have this show. Like
Yeah.
we 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 want to see and we want to reflect on both sides of this. Like where can the shift happen?
Yeah.
This is how it was perceived. I also heard that she gained huge amount of following on social media and just in general
Yeah.
for showing up and for doing what she did, and like she was positive about it, and like you say, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that there were a lot of other factors involved that we'll never know.
The only bad thing is now they're taking it out of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, it would be great to have a good following. And then maybe someone could go, hey, I could teach you and train you under stricter
Yes.
circumstances. And we can go through a stressful situation and see how you do. And someone can help her and guide her. But unfortunately. Or maybe she will, go to some dance schools and maybe learn a little bit more just because, or, come back with a comeback video of her
Yes.
doing her thing way better, kicking some ass somewhere
Yeah.
in a cipher. Who knows? It could be interesting. So, yeah, like some dance battle over in France, kicking some ass.
That's good. That's good. Wow, we covered a lot. We've covered a lot. We've done
We covered a lot. Yeah.
a lot of ground.
What do you think about for the Olympics? Do you think they should have silver, bronze, or gold, silver, and bronze, and then another fourth, kind of like a runner
Like
up?
a green participation ribbon,
Yeah.
like we used to get as little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
What are
color would
your
we make
thoughts?
it? Like,
I don't know.
I'm open, but at some point it has to
Oh,
stop. So we do a fourth place. It's like, hey, what about the fifth? You know what? What about the fifth place?
right. Maybe
And
everyone should have a thank you for participating medal.
they showed up. They got their like they okay. I don't know. No, I think
A piece of
this,
paper.
so I'm going to go down another tangent because this kind of relates to school and grading and failing and all those kinds of principles, because this is also another real world situation. If you want to call the
Mhm.
Olympics, like it's real world. It's still
Yeah.
competition.
Field track.
It's just another venue where they compete. So it's just another uh, occasion that they are competing. When you don't have clear parameters and bars for people to reach for, people are known. You will race faster when you're, say, running or any race, if you've got somebody you're racing with and not just yourself racing against a stopwatch.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an element of competition and raising a bar and trying. So I feel like this is a similar situation. If you're in school and you're never going to fail, they're going to move you on anyways with all your friends, and you don't really have to try and achieve a lot, and you're going to be, just kind of pushed through. You're going to get smacked in the face when you hit the real world, and you don't have the skills that you had the opportunity to learn, or you find out that you don't qualify for a job that you really want, or a post-secondary school, a university that you want to get into,
Mm-hmm.
because you were just led down this. It's okay. It's okay. Like, don't stress yourself. I remember we had
Pat
an
on the
honor
back.
roll at school, and they removed the honor roll. You couldn't fail. You couldn't get a zero on an assignment, even if you didn't even if you didn't hand it in, then we can't give a zero, we can't give a fail.
Yeah.
Well, what is that teaching a whole generation? And then if we send them, like, for those who have really strived to have high marks, say in school, or to get a first, second, or a third place in an athletic event or a sporting event of some kind. And then we say, but you know what? Everybody wins. And yes, they win by being there. They qualified, they were there, they
Yeah.
showed up, they have the ability, they've got these skills. But everybody wins to some degree, but there's some that excelled and they need to be recognized, I feel.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. And that's also what makes good sportsmanship as
Mhm.
well, is saying, okay, yes, there is a winner and there is a loser. Unfortunately, that is what happens. You're going to watch any games out there, any sporting games. Okay. Of course, here in Canada, the biggest thing is hockey for us. So, when it's down to the nitty gritty of the Stanley Cup, you are going to have a winner and you're going to have a loser. And that's just life. You can't say everybody wins, because then what happens? Everybody's the Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Right.
Yeah.
So, but by seeing that and growing up with it, so the kids are young, they're in elementary school, even kindergarten, have those little races, but say to them and give them, good, say, oh, you did so good, you could try a little harder next time and let's get them next time, or, very positive reinforcement to push them a
Yeah.
little bit harder. But they should learn how to take a loss very
Yes.
well and go, okay, well, what did, of course it's harder when they're younger, but as you get older, you can look back and go, what did I do good? What did I do bad? How can I learn from this? How can I, make it a little bit better? And who can I go to, get some advice from? Who can I get a
Yeah.
mentor? All these situations, because even in business, there's our businesses, of course, there that goes again. Okay, screw it. So even our businesses, um, we have these situations when a shift happens,
Yeah.
but we also have a failure point, and we also have, the winning and the losing point. Okay, so our businesses aren't doing as good. We're on the losing streak. How can we do better to get on the winning streak, right? So it's a complete part of our life growing up all the way to the end of our life. There's always going to be a winner or loser, but it's how you go from that. It's the growth, right? The
Yeah. Do
growth
you stay
from, okay,
stuck in that,
well,
or do you grow from that?
yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're stuck in the loser mentality going, well, oh, I was a loser in kindergarten. I'm always going to be a loser, instead of going, oh, okay, well, I learned that I can't run that fast, but maybe I can, tie my shoe and do better next time, or, not eat a heavy breakfast. There's different factors and variables that affect it too. So you want to see what's really going on and go, okay, well, this is why, or this is why. Don't just think of it as a bad thing. Think of it as a good thing and use it as
Yeah.
motivation and determination to go, hey, how can I do better? And then the teachers should go, okay, you did so great. Let's see how you do next time. Let's see, if you can beat, little Johnny in class, or give them a little fun little, and then give them rewards for trying. I do agree they
Yeah.
should get rewards, but again, the first, second, third, whatever, deserve better rewards because they, again, tried harder, pushed harder, trained harder, whatever level they're at.
Yeah.
And yeah, why not? And
Well,
so when they go to the Olympics, they get fourth place. They're not crying and screaming, going, well, I should,
yeah, the ref,
do I
blames
at least get
blame
a
the ref or the coach, and
participation? Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. So that's like, okay, you're like this, tenth of a second to becoming third place.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, I need to go back, review the footage and go, where did I go wrong? Or where could I have had the momentum? Or I was turning around watching them. That's what slowed me down. Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what those, the training is for. And having coaches is to take you through those barriers and go, okay, how can we, get you to do a little bit better? What do you think you could have done better? Or you were really good, but it was just that one extra step and so close. Sometimes you can't help it, right? Sometimes there's no way of
Yeah.
preventing it, but it was just because that other person was just that much faster. But just keep training. If you want it hard enough, keep training,
Well,
right?
and case in point, there were some photo finishes at the Olympics where they literally, it was, came right down to a photo finish.
Like a
The
tilt.
one major mind shift that I think is very powerful for people is, instead of begrudging or being jealous of somebody who did do better or is doing something, maybe you aren't
Mm-hmm.
even competing in that area yet, whether it's business or personal growth or learning or some skill that you want. Instead, see it as, wow, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me.
Yeah.
And congratulate and be happy for them, and have that mindset, and then it doesn't shut you down and lock you into that, I that's not possible for me, or I could never do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
Yeah.
will never be a 7'2" volleyball player.
No,
There's some things we're
probably
never going to
not.
be, but at least, but that
Sometimes
shouldn't
I
mean
wish
I
I
never
was
go
a
near a
little
volleyball.
inch, just an inch taller, but God made me the way that I am, and I'm thankful. And as they say, little people are better on hikes because we can go under trees better instead of pushing things out of our way.
Yeah,
And that's how I see it. So, we fit into rides better. If you're really tall, actually, I will share this one
right.
story. I went to Disneyland many, many years ago, and I was in lineup getting ready to go on Space Mountain. So Space Mountain is a roller coaster and it's in the dark. And they have every ride has restrictions for height. Well, most rides have, like especially roller coasters and things like that, have some restrictions for height or whatever. So this particular case, there was a very tall man who sat in the front, and they actually had to get him off the roller coaster because he was too tall. And there are portions of the ride where there's overhead stuff. So instead of getting decapitated, they were saving this man's life and going, hey, unfortunately, because you're so tall and a gentle giant, we have to kick you off. So just think about it. You know, sometimes it's not a great situation to be super tall and then walking into
or super or super hung like some.
Exactly, right? There's that situation. And just think like all the ladies are flooding your DMs, and is that a good situation or is it bad?
Well,
Like,
apparently, yeah, he was asked, would you rather have had the gold medal or, have what you have? And I never did hear what his answer was. I'm
what do
kind
you
of
think his
curious.
answer could be? It's
I
like,
screw the gold medal.
I can get any girl out there I want.
Well, no, just buy tighter pants, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they should wear cups for every single sport or,
Well, I'm just surprised they don't, but yeah, that's a
I
whole nother.
mean, I would be conscious of your body and go, okay, well, if I've got another pole, that I'm going to be whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you
Or the
know,
boxer or whatever, right? Like they're
yeah,
boxing and they were bouncing. Like that sounds dangerous to me.
right? I don't know if I can find the video. I can't even remember which one I saw
It's
it on. I think it was Facebook, but I can't remember who posted it. And I was like, I didn't look because it was like they're showing the video, and then there's like a animated hand that was
oh
pointing,
no.
and I was like, "What are they? Oh
Oh.
shit! Okay." I was like, "That's embarrassing to have that all over social media with an actual hand pointing to the area, going, yeah, you know." And of course, when you're seeing someone win, you're not looking down there. You're looking at their face and, you know, all their excitement, and they're holding their hand up like I won. You know, the referee is holding up their hand, the official holding up their hand, whoever. But it's like someone noticed the bounce in the shorts, and I was like, dude,
And once you
you
see
know,
it, you can't unsee it.
oh, and I'm just like, I don't want to wake up to this in the morning. Because I was doing a little bit of research on it. I was trying to find some funny videos and something that, you know, I wanted to share
Yeah.
most of all, because that one stood out to me only because I have the love of dance. And I was just like, and I love watching b-boys do their break dancing. And I'm just like, you know, unfortunately, it just wasn't the same. And then I come across these different things on my feed, and I'm going, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we won't show that.
I could have stayed there. So I think my love for the Olympics is gone. Then also, but it did start off very controversial. Now, um, I don't know if you watched any of the Olympics, the Olympic opening, the opening
No.
ceremonies. Um, but I guess there was, and I didn't watch it either. And it wasn't until, again, someone had posted up on social media that it was very controversial. And it was just like all, whoever was in the opening ceremonies, I'm not sure if they were actors, I'm not sure if they were athletes or who they were. However, they were costumed up, you know, kind of like drag queens, kings. And I'm not sure, maybe they are a part of that community, whatever it is. And then they had depicted the Last Supper across
Oh,
the top of the Eiffel Tower. They were kind of sitting there. So it was, I was just say, a little bit disgraceful. And I think, you know, I'm not even sure why they chose to have an opening ceremony as such, because in the past, it's usually something on a field that's a beautiful dancing and whatever, because I would have liked to have seen something more along the lines of including everyone in every single community other than just, that community. Because our communities, they include everyone. So why couldn't we have everyone be included? And then just to kind of put something in there that was a little bit, like I said, distasteful. So I'm not really sure what that was totally about. Everyone's got their taste. Everyone's got whatever they're doing. So that's on them, what they do. I mean, I personally, that's my own opinion, was that I didn't really like that, because it didn't, to me, it wasn't like Olympics, right? It was just more like you go to, when you go to a play and you expect that theme of the play, like Romeo and Juliet, something to do with it, and it's a little bit different. And you're like, well, I don't really want to pay money to see that, but right. So I think so it wasn't like Olympic theme to me. So, but again, I don't know everyone's views on it. And of course you guys are welcome to comment and
we want to hear people's views.
What you guys think about it, because who knows? Who knows what the Olympic shifts are happening in the world, because I'm not sure what they're trying to shift their mindset, or shifting what sports are shifting. Perception. I have no idea. Yeah.
But we want to hear what have people taken from the Olympics? Like some of the inspiring stories that you've heard, or something that you know that just really touched your heart, of a way, or you have a new interest in a sport that you hadn't thought of before. What is it? What was your takeaway from the Olympics? Are you never watching them again, or you're just going to be glued to them next? Like, how do you feel about breakdancing? They tried it, now they're taking it away. Just some of these.
There was one beautiful viral story that went around of a lady who was in track and field. She was doing long jump, and it shows her husband in the crowd cheering for her. And it was like he was wearing a shirt. I think her name is Tara. So it was like Team Tara, not even the country that she was going, participating in. It was just her name. And of course she won, but it was just beautiful because he was cheering for her and everything. And I was just like, that's the support and love that, not just from a spouse or whatever, but everyone should have for each other, for your countries. And sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, but that was just one beautiful story that I did see floating around. So more of that, please.
And one that came up, I did a little bit of research before our show, and another one that came up is apparently there's a team. It's not a country, it's a refugee team. So it's a team of refugees that don't have a country. And so there was a boxer, and apparently she won, but I think it was her opponent even cheered, was so happy for her and cheered for her. And those are the beautiful stories behind this.
Yeah. I love those, because that's really, it's supposed to be everyone coming together and competing, but in a very healthy way and a very loving way, and just go, okay, you did so great, but next year it's on, just like siblings, you got the front seat this time, but next time it's mine.
I love this. So we're coming back again on the 28th, and we are going to be doing our season 1 finale. We're already at finale stage. Like, wow. So we'll be talking about fall shift into work mode, out of vacations, kids back to school, all the sports, and how does that shift for you? Because I know some things that traditionally always for me felt more like a new year in the fall than January.
Yeah.
So we're going to delve into some of that. So if anybody has suggestions for future shows, feedback and comments on this show and past shows, and you can catch all the replays as well on the Shift Happens show. There is a web page that we have as well where you can find the replays. So tag us, fun. Shift Happens show.
Shift Happens all the time with me. That's the fun part. Tune in and see what happens next time. With Cari Shift.
I love
Always bound to be something. Hey, it keeps a little bit of humility in your pocket, and it makes things interesting. So, that's the fun part. Well,
Fit everywhere.
yeah. So make sure you guys tag us, love us, give us some follows. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want, really, but we just appreciate it. But yeah, contact us if you do have something you would like to talk about. If you want to be a guest on the show as well, if you have some important shifts you want to talk about, we're open as well. Anything else you want to add, Deena? I think we've covered all the shifts for the show.
We did good.
Shifty.
Did good.
Shifty, my friend. All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone. And keep shifting.